It is time for our yearly reminder that the Arizona Coyotes had Victor Soderstrom third overall on their draft board. And yes, if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that has been the case. I'd been literally making a video a year ever since the draft, wherein we spoke about Victor Soderstrom and his overall profile as a prospect. And yes, Victor Soderstrom was always a guy that I personally liked very much. He's a 5'11" right-handed defenseman playing out of the SHL at the time, and he was pretty gosh darn good, I will say so myself. After he got drafted, though, by the Arizona Coyotes, 11th overall, the big news came from Chayka himself that they had Soderstrom third overall on their draft board. And we made a video initially talking about that, how the Coyotes loved him so much that they actually traded up to get him with those comments in mind. And then eventually a year after that, we made another video talking about why I kind of understand why exactly Soderstrom was given that third overall rating. Not necessarily because he was particularly better than Turcotte or Trevor Zegras or Bowen Byram, not because he was just straight up better, but because he was just such a capable two-way defender, both ends of the ice in the SHL, one of the best players on his hockey team in 2019-20, 16 points in 35 games on the blue line as an 18-year-old in the SHL. This season, though, he actually did kind of struggle a little bit with the Tucson Roadrunners, 9 points, 30 games played. He didn't really look as comfortable as you would have liked to see, especially with the expectations that you had going into the season. This is what the scouting report here from March 2021 on Dobber Prospects. Soderstrom started the year on the Coyotes taxi squad, but with injuries on the blue line, the young defenseman got to make his NHL debut. He appeared in 2 games, not seeing a ton of playing time, but he looked pretty good, impressing with his poise and calm play. The Coyotes want him playing, so when the AHL season started, he was assigned to Tucson. Surprisingly, he has struggled in the AHL so far, adjusting to the North American game. Don't expect that to last, but he most likely plays out this year in the AHL. Now, I will say, first and foremost, struggling in the AHL while doing pretty okay in the NHL is not the biggest surprise in the world to me when I hear about Victor Soderstrom, of all people, playing at that rate, because the AHL is a lot more gritty, I would say. It's not as fast-paced, it's not as high-skilled, it's not as finesse as the NHL is. In the NHL, you got guys skating like the wind, dangling your pants off and putting in the back of the net, off of some very speedy give-and-go tic-tac-toe plays. But in the AHL, you got a lot more scrums out in front, a lot more corner battles. It's a lot more of a physical game, because a lot of the skilled guys, a lot of the highly touted skill guys, just aren't playing in the AHL. Well, of course, some are, but the difference between the AHL and the NHL is definitely noticeable. And for Victor Soderstrom, who plays a mobile, two-way game that relies a lot more on finesse than the actual gritty side of the game, it makes a lot of sense to me why he would have not really done all too well in the AHL. But alas, he started back up in the NHL the other night, and hey, guess what he does coming out here? Rudolph's Balzers is the guy in front of him in the offensive zone. He dangles the guy's pants off a little inside-outside to just quickly sidestep his man, walks into the goal, and boom, baby, what a snipe for Victor Soderstrom. First NHL goal, crazy pinpoint accurate shot right there. It's not even the only first goal we had last night, too. Jan Yannick of the Coyotes also got himself his first goal, so very happy for him as well. But for Victor Soderstrom, who indeed just recently turned 20, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of this guy. We've seen the previous 2 World Junior tournaments that in his age range, he is unmatched. He can be a point-per-game assisting defenseman because he's a guy who could log minutes and who can play a safe role on the back end and step up when he needs to offensively. So, for the Arizona Coyotes, I know we've been harping on them a ton because, they don't have any prospects, they don't have any picks, and they don't have any trades that they could have made to make their team better that they actually took. They traded prospects and picks for Taylor Hall, then Taylor Hall left. They got picks taken away because of John Chayka, and they also renounced their pick when they picked a racist bully. But on a team that has so much bad to talk about and so much misfortune surrounding their assets, seeing Jan Yannick and seeing Victor Soderstrom come out here, hey, that's a good one right there. Love to see Victor Soderstrom out there doing his thing because I've said it the entire time, man. I'm a fan. I said back then in 2019 that, yeah, I would not be opposed if the Vancouver Canucks took him. It's just when we made that video, I don't think the Canucks draft position was actually set in stone yet. So it was kind of interesting. I remember back during the actual draft and when it was happening, when we had Cole Caulfield, Peyton Krebs, Matt Boldy, and Alex Newhook all still available at 10th overall, I was like, oh, I would not want to take Soderstrom now, considering the names that are still there. If we did take him, okay, I could understand it. In a vacuum, Soderstrom at 10 makes sense. It's just the other names that were there. I kind of wanted them a bit more, not gonna lie, but then we took Podkolzin and I was like, oh, I completely forgot he was there. You can kind of see that in the reaction video we made when the Canucks made their pick, but yeah. The Vancouver Canucks definitely are in a spot where, hey, they could use a nice puck-moving, offensively capable, two-way right-handed defenseman like Victor Soderstrom right now, but hey, they've got Podkolzin, and that's cool. Soderstrom went right after because the Arizona Coyotes liked him so much. Reminder that he was 3rd overall on their draft board. Because the draft was so kind of laid out in a way that everybody kind of knew Hughes and Kakko would go 1 and 2, you could pretty much assume that the Arizona Coyotes would have had their draft board goes as follows: Hughes number 1, Kakko number 2, and Soderstrom number 3, which was so different from the norm based off of what we saw in the projections. I mean, Soderstrom could have been gone a little bit later at like 13th or 14th overall. The highest ranking here was 10th by McKeen's. The 3rd one on Central Scouting is for European skaters, so that's not including the North American guys. And in 2019, there were a lot of North American guys. So that's kind of misleading. But for Victor Soderstrom, he's out here doing his thing. Finally gets his first NHL goal. Love to see that. Crazy dangles, crazy shot. Can't wait to see what the future holds for this guy. They already had success with Chychrun. I think they can do it too with Soderstrom. Talk to me in the comments what you think about Soderstrom, his profile, the game, and the prospect in general. I hope you enjoyed this video. As 99. And bye.